Hello, viewers of the Spell, and welcome back to the Spellry. Now, just a little announcement before we get going. That being the next What If. It's either going to be, what if Midoriya was a wielder of a sacred sword, or wielder of the sacred sword. You might also call it wielder of the hero's sword. Or what if Midoriya's parents were villains? Now, if either of those sound interesting to you, please put them in the comments. Depending on which one gets the higher suggestion, I will do first. I am planning on doing both, though. And what if Midoriya wielded the sacred sword? Well, I've thought about that a little bit more. But without any further ado, let's begin. All Might would arrive, pushing through the doors. Ida had successfully gotten to the school, and All Might had been the first to arrive. Other pros would be shortly arriving. As All Might rushed down, Aizawa and Ragnar would be relieved. As All Might would tell Aizawa to focus on the kids, he would confront this Nomu creature. As the man, covered in hands, identified himself as Shigaraki, and mentioned that this was Nomu, an artificially created creature to kill All Might. As Ragnar said that he was pretty sure his physical hits weren't doing any damage to it, suspecting that there was some kinetic resistance. As All Might would attack at once and agree with that sentiment. As the battle would begin, Aizawa would be forced back since quirk exhaustion and stopped using his quirk. All Might immediately noticed how what went from simple resistance had apparently turned into absorption, as Ragnar confronted Shigaraki and Kodagiri. As this fight go on, Ragnar would notice that he had been hurt pretty bad. Several ribs were definitely broken, and it was his rage and adrenaline was what was keeping him going. As we flash to where Midoriya, Bakugo, and Denki had been teleported to see many villains knocked out. It looked like a mini war zone going off with how many explosions and other things had managed to pretty much take everyone out. As Denki commented on Midoriya's hero costume, asking where did he get that armor. Midoriya, who had remembered that Ragnar had given it to him after the first hero training exercise, saying that his dad would want him to have it. It was a green scale shirt. It was light armor and resistant to quite a lot, primarily poison and acid. Midoriya said, "Yeah, it's some sort of leather. Not quite sure where my dad got it from." As Bago barked at both of them, saying, "The rest of our classmates are scattered about the USJ." As Bago said, "Lightning bolt for brains." Denki looking mildly offended. "You're with me." And Deku. Midoriya would look up. "You check on Aizawa. Me and the other guy will try to see if we can help some of our other classmates." As Bago hurried off, as Midoriya would start jogging towards the center, running into a couple villains, but he noticed one of the zones was almost completely covered in ice. He assumed that Todoroki must have gone there and probably was fighting. As we would flash back to the main battle, as we would see Ragnar starting to feel the effects of both adrenaline and rage wear off, having a harder time keeping up with Shigaraki. Shigaraki, on his part, sported several new bruises, and had found out incredibly annoying fact for him that this guy's axe was not decaying. Ragnar smiled. It seemed that this guy's decay ability only worked on mundane objects, and Frostbiter was a very magical item. As Ragnar rushed towards Shigaraki again, Shigaraki would stand still, and a smile would occur. Ragnar realized his mistake too late, as a warp gate opened up underneath him, teleporting him 30 feet into the air above the rest of the students by the door. He would land with a big thud, the last remnants of his rage fading as he lost consciousness. As the others would focus on All Might. All Might had been fighting the Nomu as he attempted to do a suplex, hoping to bury him into the concrete. But unfortunately for him, that Miss guy, with Shigaraki mentioning his name as Kodagiri, had managed to teleport the upper half of the Nomu to attack All Might, as he was in a bit of a sticky situation. And this is what Midoriya saw when he approached. Midoriya, feeling a sense of rage, would charge in, charging magic, not caring what spell he used, and unknowingly doing something that most sorcerers would find a very bad idea. As he tapped into the power, it felt like a weave now. As he tapped deeply into it, it felt like dice, or something else had been rolled. As he charged towards Kodagiri and Shigaraki, hoping to incapacitate him and force them to let All Might go. Kodagiri would open up a portal, and Midoriya would let out the power, as chaos broke out. Midoriya unknowingly had cast wild magic. After all, he didn't really care what the magic did, as long as it would do something to Shigaraki. As Midoriya charged towards Shigaraki, focusing magic, preparing to unleash it, Kodagiri would quickly move, opening up a portal to catch the attack. As Midoriya released the attack, the portal and the attack would mix. As Midoriya's eyes widened, well, everyone's eyes widened, as both powers clashed and a silvery light emerged from it, with many colors. As it expanded and exploded, energy wafting out, lightning and whatnot. Shigaraki was hit, being incredibly close to it. Midoriya threw out shield, as he managed to block the brunt of it. As Shigaraki would be forced to close his eyes, Todoroki would manage to freeze the Nomu's arm, and All Might would escape. But all of them would be forced to close their eyes as the light would break out. When they opened up their eyes, there was a major rift, and it seemed to pulse. Shigaraki would get on his feet and say, "Kodagiri, what did you do?" As Kodagiri would not be sure, as a creature would walk out of the portal. Alright, and that's going to be it for this video. Sorry it's out a little late. Some scheduling stuff came up. Don't forget to say what you thought would be the better what if I could do in the comments. From the what if Midoriya was a wielder of a sacred sword, or what if Midoriya's parents were villains. Also, I'm looking to do text-to-speech what ifs to mix in with these. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget that does actually help the channel. And without further ado, this will be Spellree signing off. Hope you have a great day.